Well, everyone, thank you all so much once again for tuning in. Now, the AlitaArmy and Alita's popularity has grown a significant amount over the past couple of years, coming after her release. And even with the Disney buyout of Fox, which is seen as both fortunate slash unfortunate depending on who you ask, Alita is a character that is frequently seen mentioned on Twitter. When Disney bought out Fox, they inherited assets such as Hulu, Fox, Sometimes I Tell the Truth, Sometimes I Don't News, and FX. Alita Battle Angel was seen on FX last year. Now, at the time of Alita's release, the hype was more leaning towards Captain Marvel, which released weeks after Alita, but Alita ended up being a quiet sleeper with a nice gross of well over $400 million. James Cameron made it known that Alita was set to have a continuation in the form of Alita Fallen Angel and Avenging Angel, yet not much else was said after that. Robert Rodriguez and Jim Cameron have both worked under the Disney umbrella, with Cameron's World of Pandora being brought back to the big screen this year, 13 years later after the original. Robert Rodriguez more recently said that after Boba Fett, he and Jim Cameron will be working on a pitch for Alita, and more recently the girl herself had this to say about her intent to play Alita once more, saying this, and I quote, "All three of us have so much love for it. It's never outside of our line of vision, ever. Everything we do, we're just sort of like, how do we get back there? We're trying like hell to get her back out there because we know how much, just like Undone, her story means so much to women, to young girls, to boys, to everybody. I think she represents something that transcends race, gender, all of that. So we're working on it, man." End quote. The AlitaArmy succeeded years back by getting Alita re-released back in theaters, a feat that was acknowledged by both James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez. They both are more than aware that the demand for more Alita is there. With countless events on Twitter that have trended, as well as getting the movie re-released, many are left questioning as to where the hell is Alita Battle Angel 2? Is it a case of sooner rather than later, and will her story continue beyond just a sequel? All of this is very tough to say. Disney is, once again, for better or worse, depending on who you ask, one of the most powerful corporations in the world, and getting this done will be no easy feat. But nonetheless, fear not, because here are some ways I believe we, the AlitaArmy, can help to draw more attention. These are just some ideas and things I have had for some time, and I decided to put it in the video format. I'm not someone looking for clout, and best believe that if I wanted clout, I know just how to market myself and how I would go about getting it on YouTube, especially when it comes to Disney. I would praise the Lord and Commander of Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, and praise every Marvel Studios movie release as the second coming. My video opener would be Elsa from Frozen singing Let It Go, and me, Josh Samuel, doing the Futter Walking dance and grinning like the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. Me discussing my ideas is not in any form or fashion about gaining clout. My main hope is to get the ball moving a bit faster on Alita, faster than it would be if this was a game of motorball. Like I stated earlier, and needless to say, Disney is one of the most powerful corporations in the entire world. With FX being a network that they own, I had the idea that it would be interesting to see Alita getting her own series along with more movies. Companies like Disney that own the likes of both Marvel, Lucasfilm, and again, Fox, need to see that there is demand for Alita, and that her character is one that can bring in more than substantial revenue, and that hers is one that will remain popular. Without a doubt, the AlitaArmy has already proven that Alita is indeed popular. But in order to get her character more than just sequels, Disney will have to be convinced that there is extremely high demand. So trending the hashtag more often is important. There are 5 letters in Alita's name, and I got 5 on it like Lanice, so I crafted 5 hashtags that I believe will also draw more attention and will help her trend more. Tell everyone you know that will and can to participate when he or she can, and spread the word with other hashtags as well. Guide each individual to AlitaArmy.org and make certain that they know to follow the AlitaArmy on Twitter, and that you notify him or her of any upcoming events, and that they tune in on Saturdays on YouTube to the hashtag AlitaArmy from some cool Alita-based streams. The next suggestion I have is a mass letter writing campaign directly to the House of Mouse himself. I have mixed feelings about the mouse, but with Deadpool supposedly remaining R-rated, this gives me a slight glimmer of hope that Alita won't be watered down and unlikely to become a cyberpunk Disney musical. After all, one of my favorite Alita lines, "Fuck Your Mercy," is something I think fondly of, and I can't recount any usages of the word fuck in any recent Disney films. Mass letters being sent directly to the studio will draw more attention to Alita, and also highlight the fact that the fanbase is strong. In this case, however, I personally believe there may need to be 2 mass letter writing campaigns, because with the return to Pandora and Avatar on the horizon, the goal is once again to bring more attention to Zalem and Iron City, And this will also, once again, highlight the fact that there is a demand for Alita. 20th Century Studios is what Fox's newer movies are being released under, but my thinking is that sending the letters directly to Disney is the best course of action here. Explain in detail why Alita is such an important character, why Alita's story is one that deserves continuance, and why the demand is high, and why we want to see her return sooner rather than later. The irony in all this is that I feel like it will happen sooner rather than later, but ultimately with Disney, it's too tough to say. Now, this goes without saying, but everyone that I've interacted with in the AlitaArmy, big, small, young, and old, has been nothing short of welcoming and pleasant. As seen in the Snyder Cut community, great things can and do happen when people unite for a common good. Members of the Snyder Cut fanbase have also assisted in times past on Twitter with his or her hashtagging Alita sequel. The same victory that was made a reality for the Snyder Cut, I feel should be made for Alita so her story can continue above and beyond. This world we live in is far too cruel and too unjust to unify consistently, but that is the great thing about Alita. Her character has brought people from all walks of life together, and more numbers equals more demand. And the key word here is indeed demand. Tell everyone you know about Alita, and whenever the next time is again to get her trending on social media, see if they too can help out. Now, the creative team behind Alita Battle Angel seems highly intent on getting her story going. I think with what Rosa saying what she said recently and Robert Rodriguez saying what he had to say around the time of Boba Fett has me thinking that things might be happening a lot quicker than we realize. Avatar 3 and allegedly 4 are complete with filming. With there being space between Avatar 3 and 4, there is certainly time and opportunity at the very least for them to start filming, or at the very least announce when the sequel will come. Alita Battle Angel released in theaters 3 years ago, and there have been many question marks surrounding Alita the movie and Alita in terms of going forward. Not a day goes by that I don't start scrolling through Twitter and I see one of my mutuals retweeting a person that just discovered Alita Battle Angel either through Disney Plus if they live overseas or just by watching it on FX. And more times often than not, it's followed by something along the lines of, I want to see a sequel to Alita Battle Angel. It can be easy to lose hope even with encouraging words from the creators themselves because those question marks equal uncertainty. I'm disappointed in companies like Disney that say that they are for acceptance, inclusion, and diversity, yet at the same rate they are infamous for being the same Disney that shrunk Finn on each of the sequel trilogy posters and reduced his character to being a megaphone for Rey, I am all the Jedi Skywalker, throughout the sequel trilogy. Alita to me stands out in many regards because there's more than one way to continue her story, and Disney has multiple avenues in which they can continue her story. As we approach the conclusion of this video, I reiterate by saying I wholeheartedly believe that Alita will be getting a continuation much sooner rather than later. To the AlitaArmy, keep going and rise up. It seems like Robert Rodriguez, James Cameron, and now Rosa Salazar all are intent on getting it done, and with a little more noise, I think this will convince Disney to speed up the process.